Hey, everybody.
I'm Mo.
And I'm Katy, and this is the
Mo and Katy Show. I wasn't exactly sure what we were. It's been a year, guys.
It has been a year.
And it's also been a minute, about a year since we last recorded a podcast.
That's right. But this is the Mo and Katy Show year in review, 2024 year in review.
And I know a lot of you are thinking, what's up with your hair, Mo?
I know that's what I was thinking.
Was it really?
No,
what
not
did you
really.
Say?
Not really.
Anyway.
I'm thinking I wish the camera were like clear so my eyes didn't have to squint. There, it's all clear now. So showing my age a little bit.
What do you need to see? Oh, yourself. I'm going to leave that right there.
So
anyway.
It's the end of the year.
What year?
2024. We definitely hope that you have all had a stellar year, a really good year. We have our matching coffee mugs today.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Carrie, for our Colorado Starbucks mugs. And you know what? Even if you haven't had maybe the best year, maybe it's been a year with some challenges, you've still made it. So congratulations.
Kudos to you.
You've made it through the year. You get a badge and a ribbon. All the things.
Wow. Seems like redundant awards, but whatever.
But of course, this time of year, we are looking toward next year and all of the things that we are setting out to accomplish, and very excited. It's always nice to have a fresh new start to the year.
But I think the other thing too is I'm always a big believer in reflecting, because I don't think a lot of people do that enough. And I think looking back, and in fact, I had kind of forgotten what we had done this year until you're like, well, we did that. And I'm like, that wasn't this year. You're like, yeah, it was. I'm like, I didn't believe her. So of course I got my calendar out and I'm like, you know, it was this year.
She didn't believe me until she looked at her. She'll believe Google, but not me.
It wasn't Google. It was my calendar, which means I believe me before I believe you. But same difference.
A check.
But yeah, so we went through and and the reason we're doing this is because we hope you'll do the same thing.
Yes.
But kind of look at the past 12 months and not only look at the things that you've done, but kind of look at the lessons, look at the lessons that you came away with. I look at these and I think about, but it wasn't until I actually looked at the event and thought about, okay, what was my takeaway that I remember? And we have written them down somewhere. Yeah. God knows where. It's probably on a shared note somewhere.
We have a few of those.
Yeah.
But also remembering where we were this time last year. And I think that was kind of the thing was I said, you know, one of the things we've enjoyed this year that we'll talk about are the variety shows that we've been doing. And I reminded Mo, I said, look, this time last year we had only done one. And now we've done what, 5?
5 or 6.
Yeah. So it
puts things in perspective. Yeah. So again, I think a lot of times you forget where you are in the year or in your life until you take that time to kind of reflect back. Because I feel like we've been doing the variety shows forever because because we spent so much time planning it. We spent so much time thinking about it, socializing it, and then finding a venue and then actually pulling it off and then hot washing it. So like it's been part of our battle rhythm for so long that I thought we had been doing it for a lot longer than we actually have.
And I think too, the podcasting that we've been doing since 2020, we have been podcasting since March of 2020. Yes, March of that 2020.
Is there a different 2020?
I think coming up on 5 years since we have started building where we are now, there's been a lot of the process has been us figuring out how we are as a duo, what our rhythm is like, what our banter is like, and finding what we call the magic in there that we really enjoy. And I feel that 2024 was a year where we landed on a lot of things. There's been a lot of self-discovery up to that point. And maybe you're at the same place in your life where you have been on a journey of, you know, figuring out exactly what is what. And, you know, if 2024 isn't the year that landed, maybe you're on the cusp of it for 2025.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing that in January, I learned to bring your own HDMI cord.
Because that was the lesson.
Yeah, it was. There was a lesson there because anyway. So
it's the speaker's bingo card.
Yeah.
All the things.
Yeah. In February, when we did our Galentine's Day variety show, the note I took away from that is watch out for the pre-gamers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah, we had a very interactive audience. We had specifically 4 women who came to the Galentine's Day show.
Is a good word.
And they had pre-gamed. And I'll just say this, early on in the show, because our shows are interactive, we asked for, I believe it was a noun, although this one could have been a verb. But we asked for a noun, and to find out, the lady, I'm not going to say it, the lady that gave us the noun / verb, we found out after the fact, was one of the pre-gamers. We knew that, but she's also an erotica author, which explains the noun verb she gave us.
We'll let you connect the dots on that one. Or maybe don't.
Yeah. Anyway.
So January, we started off with a speaking gig at Youngstown State University, speaking to college students. And that was kind of continuing ed. And then also working, our good friend, Greg Smith. We had a lot of Greg this year.
Yes.
Greg's company, CompCo, brought us in. Mo spoke to his team. And I actually got to vocal coach his daughter-in-law and some other young ladies that she performs with, and just hone my coaching skills. And I get to be Mo's tech when she is speaking by herself. I get to be her Sherpa and do all of that.
Which I need.
That's what we started with in a very cold Youngstown in January.
Yeah. So then February we had the inappropriate offer, and then March we went back to Youngstown and we did our duo TEDx, which was something we had actually put out into the universe, if you will, in 2020. In February of 2020, we had said we want to do a 2-person TED Talk, and it took 4 years, which in my view is way too long. But there's always somebody kind of saying, well, no, that's quick. So. Yeah. So, I mean, we did the 2-person TEDx talk in Youngstown.
I feel like we learned a lot from that experience. That was kind of where we had to land on some decisions about who we are and what we stand for and what we do.
Yeah.
And I think that whole process of writing the talk, but also it was fun, like to write, practice, memorize this 12-minute talk that was staged. And I mean, it was
a lot of work, you guys.
Really cool.
It was a lot of work. And there were times when we're like, we're never going to get this.
Honestly.
There were times and I think I warned you about that ahead of time. It's like, enjoy that journey. And there are dips in it, and there are peaks and valleys, but
that's right.
There was a lot of time like, we're not going to get this. We did.
But, and that is where we were able to land on the reason we do a lot of the things that we do is to disrupt monotony, because we're all living in some sort of monotony, and disrupting it keeps us on our toes and makes life a little more interesting. Mm-hmm. So so that was in March 8th.
And shout out to our coach, Kimberly Weil, she is probably 90% of the reason the stuff that I've gotten to do has happened. I mean, just the work she puts us through, and the edits and the feedback and the opportunities she puts in front of us. So
she's very good to us too. And then 2 days after TED, I had surgery on my hand. So
I had nothing to do with that.
No, you did. You made me a wonderful care package. You did. You gave me a shoehorn. You gave me a card shuffler because I couldn't shuffle cards.
Okay.
Very important things.
All right. But then in April, we went to England, and we did 4 gigs in 2 days, 3 workshops and a variety show. Learned a lot there too. And again, made a lot of friends and connections, and renewed a lot of friendships that we'd had. So that was good.
And that was a big deal. Mo has a really wonderful habit of making a lot of dreams that I've had and things on my bucket list come true. And I've wanted to go to England since I was 17 years old. And through relationships that have originated with you, we were able to do that. So I'm really grateful for that. It was amazing. We went to Cambridge. We spent 3 days in Cambridge, 4 days in Cambridge, and a few days in London. And got the chance to teach at a university and a hospital and and an Air Force base. Mm-hmm. So it was really, really cool. And that was the debut of our Unforgettable Experience hoodies too. Ba-bam. So yes.
So that was April. I learned a lot about energy management. That was a good trip.
You did really well.
I know. I learned about energy management.
I got to be in places where Muppets stood. That meant a lot to me.
I don't think any Muppet stands anywhere. The Muppeteer does.
That's true.
Anyway. In May, we were on 3 different podcasts. So Kimberly Weil, Dylan's, and Polo Rio Tate's. But the biggest thing, and I think this is kind of where our pivot started to happen, was we were asked to MC the Show of Champions for the Sweet Adelines International Region 19, their regional competition. The last event before the party and slurred speech is the Show of Champions. And
so all of the, it's a competition, yearly competition, and groups of 4 women, which are called quartets, groups of not larger women, larger groups of women, which are called choruses, all compete. And this is a chance to kind of see everyone who has scored well. So we were given the task of, they're like, look, we do this end of event show every year. And basically they turned us loose and gave us a theme.
So that was the one where we had, the theme was Paint the Town. So you were pretty much a French painter the whole time.
With a really bad French accent.
But it's better than my French accent.
But I had a beret.
We've learned, this is something else we learned this year. We learned this on the way up to TEDx.
No, can't do accents.
I can, but only one. Any accent I do, whether it's Jamaican, Japanese, or Creole, somehow ends up sounding Scottish.
Scottish. So we didn't have a Scottish painter. I was the painter.
Yeah. So
but anyway. Mo was a house painter. She also, if you've not seen pictures of the Bob Ross wig, it's really good. And then we had a Van Gogh shout out as well. And then lots of puns.
And here was the pivotal moment from this. This is the takeaway. At the end of the show, during the drinking phase of the weekend, some woman came up to you. What did she say?
She said, I just want you guys to know I hate puns. And I'm mad because you made me laugh at your puns.
Yeah. So what we call that is the conversion of pun skeptics.
That's right.
So that was a pivotal moment. But really what we learned from that is the joy that we get from emceeing a big event. We had a lot of positive feedback after the event. And really that really solidified for us that we really like the MC, that we like the variety shows, we like the podcasts, we like doing all these, workshops and stuff. But where we really, really feel called and pulled is emceeing big kind of capstone events like that. So
and we had to pivot too. We had a pretty major pivot right before we went on stage, and really just and the other thing too is that Mo and I have a lot of we really trust each other on stage and in preparation, and knowing that we just had to make it work, and we made it smooth. So that was a good lesson, but also just to look back and say, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can pivot at the last second.
Which kind of leads to, we had the summer, we were both kind of in our own, we took the summer off. By summer, I mean June. And then, but in August, we already knew we were going to be emceeing another entire weekend. And the event is Triple Harmony Brigade, which is actually the organization in the event that we met at in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago.
But we emceed the whole weekend, and we did the same thing where we had a through line, and it was magic. And we had a good time. So those two events really kind of pivoted us and got us zeroed in on MC workers, which is really where we want to kind of make our name and carve, because there's not a lot of duo MCs for one. And I guarantee there's nobody who does it like we do. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing.
But the ability to entertain and keep something moving. So like having deliverables that we have to bring. We've got to, announce the housekeeping things for an event, for example, but being able to make that fun and memorable. There were more costumes and props, and we're starting to get a nice supply of costumes and props.
Yeah, I have a lot of explaining to Jen. Do I have to keep this wig? Yes, you do.
And a lot of being able to. There was at this particular event, there was a guest quartet, and they played right along with us. We were like, "Hey, we need you to come do this thing with us," and they were like,
"Okay,
absolutely." So
like
it was a lot of fun.
What I appreciate is I love writing the scripts, like having this idea, writing the scripts for it, having these anchor things that we knew it has to happen at this time, this has to happen, and there's certain things, and then kind of gauging the energy. That's one thing we're really good at, is looking at the energy and when do we need to have like more of a somber tone, and when can we have the shtick, and when is too much shtick. We actually do know to give it a break.
Which is right to that point on each event, on the Region 19 Show of Champions and the Harmony Brigade. There was a moment in each of those where we were giving honor to someone who had passed on
recently.
And that was difficult. But being able to honor them, and what a privilege it is to get up and be the people to get to say the words, but bringing that to the event was, so knowing that, yes, a lot of what we do is silly and funny, and, we want to be that way, but also being able to put it down or pull it back when it's time to do something a little more serious. So yes, we can be serious.
It's short-lived
when we need to be.
Anyway, so after that, then we went over to California. We were with our Master Circle group, and then we also emceed a comedy and magic festival at the Alcazar Theater in Carpinteria, and that was fun. We, again, same thing. We learned a lot. Drinking seems to be an issue with some of our audience members. No, some of our audience members. Anyway.
But we're able to connect with the comedians and magicians. Mo was on a trip, like a vacation, and was doing Zoom calls with some of the people that would be on the show, so we could establish a connection.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen our Q band intro, that was probably my favorite one. So
brilliant.
Luis Moro was one of the things I found out on the call is he's very proud of his Cuban heritage. So the way we got into that shtick to introduce him is we had this whole banter about not being able to use billiard cues at this theater, which of course is a pool cue, which meant that there was a
Q band.
So anyway.
Get it?
And what we found out after the fact is Luis was backstage and he was like, "What are they? They're talking about me."
Like, what?
So anyway,
a lot of good opportunities to do that.
And then in September we did a variety show. This was a back to school theme, and that was fun.
So fun.
Yeah, we got to be at Manor Mill in the Loft, which was also another goal that we had for 2024.
Yes.
So
check that.
We also started the calls and all the marketing for Fantasy Quartet, which is an idea that Katy had years and years and years and years ago. And Elizabeth Harris, our spreadsheet freak in the sheets, spreadsheet.
Those sheets.
Yeah. Anyway, so Elizabeth was
surprised me.
Kind of really, that's my job. I need a noun.
No, you don't.
But so Elizabeth helped us keep this thing afloat because last year I kind of went overboard, and she's like, "I don't think we need to do that much." I'm like, I am either like 0 to 10, and there's no in between.
She's a 12.
Yeah, so
0 to 10.
So Elizabeth was really good about keeping us, keeping me focused on, well, like, here's what we really need to get out. We did that. We had 2 drafts. We had a lot more this is the most we had participation. So anyway, that all started in September, and then we also
were able to. So my husband works for the Baltimore City Police Department, and he runs the chaplaincy program. He asked us to come. They hired us to come for a citywide chaplains event. And we were asked to do basically some mixers and get everybody, talking to each other and sharing with each other. And that was really, so it was, again, something different. We pulled some new activities out for that. And it was really good. So we got a chance to work with the fine chaplains of the Baltimore City Police Department and get a chance to work in a very different kind of venue than the other things that we do.
Yeah. And it was kind of cool too, because I think it's always fun when we go into these events and we want people to interact and mingle and be curious about each other, because a lot of people they're either on shift work or they're remote work, and so they don't actually get to meet each other. And then they finally are in this room. I always consider it a success, but it's also kind of a pain in the butt. But when they're connecting so much and you can see them going, "Oh, so-and-so," and you can, but we're like, "Okay, the activity's over. We need to move on to the next thing." And I'm like on a schedule,
Stop
talking. But I really do like that. And that was kind of something we found in the event we did yesterday. Anyway.
Yes.
So that was September. October, we attended a musical improv class.
We did, with some local improv groups in Baltimore.
Yeah. Katy is a rock star at that. I probably could have just driven her, dropped her off, and picked up. Anyway.
Great.
And then we went to New York to see Once Upon a Mattress. So Jen
did.
and me and Katy, we went up there and met Janine. Yep. And we saw Sutton Foster.
We did.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
Yes. And then in November, we had a Thanksgiving variety show.
We did. So our Thanksgiving variety show, we are using a new venue in Baltimore. It's called Resonate. So shout out to Trevor and Melissa Chin. We love this venue.
Yeah.
It feels very intimate, but at the same time, there is a small stage and stage lighting. So we're lit and the audience is dark, lit in that lights are on us.
Who's lit?
Yay. We had a really great interactive group of people. We played Family Feud. We got to do our parodies, and we actually did some more serious songs, some duet work.
Yeah.
It just was a lot of fun. We love doing the variety show. It was so much fun. So,
and then a couple of days ago, we did a holiday party for the Defense Logistics Agency. Anyway, I was trying to explain to Katy how the hierarchy works. But anyway, so DLA Land and Aberdeen Proving Ground, we went and did there. And the cool thing is, and this is how we do trivia, especially when we do corporate trivia. We reach out to each person. We say, can you email us one quirky fact that you don't mind sharing, number one, and B, you think that people don't know. So everybody mailed us, like, one guy, how he spent his 18th birthday. One guy smashed a clarinet. One girl got to meet Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Like, so just neat things. And so we do those, and we turn those into trivia questions. So they had teams, they had grease boards or dry erase boards, and we put the questions up. And what was really neat was nobody got it 100% right. Like, I was glad to know that people were learning things about their teammates. And it just so happened that the boss of this organization, he was the one who, in the fourth grade, smashed his clarinet against the bedpost. And I think only one team got it. They're just like, ooh. So,
But Mo has really also this year gotten very adept at using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT makes these like amazing pictures. So we had a customized picture for each question. It was so fun.
Yeah,
it was
good.
So fun. And it makes me think this year of all of the people who have hired us, and basically almost everyone who's hired us has turned us loose and trusted us. So I think about Julie Enriquez with Harmony Brigade. I think about the things Kimberly has given us, Jonna, Di Bartel, like all of the people who have hired us to do their events and trusted us to turn it into something. And it's really cool to have that kind of creative freedom, but also to be able to get the job done and make our clients really happy too.
Yeah.
So also want to give a big shout out this year to Ellie Golding, who made us the sizzle reel that is on our website.
Yep.
Yes, and we really love it. And he's a good guy, and he was really easy to work with and made
Great
something
stuff.
really cool for us.
So anyway, that's kind of our year. What we want and challenge you to do is kind of go back through, and if you got to do it, like I legit 66 days, I went through every day because I keep everything in my calendar. I'm like, oh, remember we did that?
Oh yeah,
did
that thing.
But kind of go back, and even if you just pick a random month and look at what you've done in that month, and not only that, what did you learn from that thing that you did? Because sometimes it's something you don't want to do again, or sometimes it's something like, hey, that really worked, or I didn't think I liked ballet, and just.
I could have guessed 10 different things you were about to say, and ballet would not have been one of them.
That's why it's the 11th. So anyway, so we challenge you to do that, and also set your intentions for what's going to happen next year. We're going to kick off the new year. Well,
should we
the
share
new
our
month.
words?
Oh yeah. So Kimberly also has us name our year. So 2025, we owe her by the 31st of December, which we're way ahead because drivers
So ahead.
The names of our year. So
That's right.
I feel like mine might be the name of my year is Crockpot, because
The crockpot year.
yeah, because Katy keeps bringing home the point that when you look at quality, sustainability, taste, health benefits, all these other things, something you cook in the crockpot is way better than something you zap in the microwave. And added to that, when you cook in the crockpot, all those different flavors come together in concert to produce something tastier than, again, a frozen Hot Pocket that's scalding on the outside and still ice in the middle. So I'm learning to be patient, trying to be, but crockpot is the name of my year so that I can remember that.
And one advantage of the fact that we work as a duo is that we get to borrow and share each other's words and years too. So some things we have to work twice as hard at, and some things we work half as hard at. So it only
works a quarter of the time. Yeah.
So my word, in addition to crockpot for us, is break wall. So we've been really working at building some things, and I really believe this is a year that even more so we're going to see. When you're trying to get out, I always think of Tom Hanks in Castaway trying to get the raft. To a certain point where he was at sea, you have to get over that where the waves are breaking. And I feel like we are beginning to do that, and just so grateful, just really grateful to you, Moe, that we get to do this.
Yeah,
I love this. And this is second and additional careers for both of us. And it's just awesome. I love it. So
I love it.
Wishing you wonderful crockpot break wall greatness this year too.
Yeah. So review your year, pick a month, whatever it is, and see what you learn from it. Kind of look back at where you were this time last year.
Yeah.
And then think about where you want to be this time next year. So
Yes.
I want to be on a stage with you, emceeing some corporate gala.
That's right.
Is it gala?
Gala?
Yeah, I don't know. Party. So
Woohoo!
anyway, and I wish everybody patience and laughter and love this season. Be safe and be patient.
That's right.
And also be patient.
And be grateful.
Keep laughing.
And stay positive. We'll see you in 2025.
Woo-woo! Unless you're watching this in 2025, then this is us from
See
beyond.
you soon. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.